There is a confession we carry in silence, a secret we would barely whisper even in the dark, even to ourselves. It lives in that particular moment when someone opens their chest and shows us their wound, and something inside us goes completely, terrifyingly still. Not with compassion, not with tears, with a low, hollow irritation that slowly drains into nothing, into an absence that feels almost like a room someone forgot to furnish. And beneath that stillness, like a current under ice, a thought moves through us, unbidden, unasked for, and deeply shameful. Please, stop. There is nowhere left inside me to put this. We were taught that feeling deeply is a kind of grace, that the ability to absorb the world without armor, without the protection of distance, this is what separates the truly alive from the merely existing. We were shown sensitivity as a crown, a beautiful, aching crown. But no one warned us about what lives on the other side of that gift. No one spoke of the slow, quiet tragedy that follows those who open themselves completely, who let every stranger's grief, every crack in every voice, every unseen bruise find its way into the soft interior of their being. One day, we look inward and find not ourselves, but an endless corridor of other people's echoes. The self has dissolved imperceptibly like salt in warm water. And what remains is a hollow, ringing shell. Emptied not by cruelty, but by an excess of care. This emptiness is not a moral failure. It is not coldness arriving to replace what was once warmth. It is not the heart hardening, turning to something gray and indifferent. It is simply the answer of a nervous system that has been asked to carry more than any nervous system was ever built to carry. We evolved to feel alongside a small fire, a handful of faces, people who shared our hunger, our cold, our sky. Our mirror neurons, those strange, luminous threads that make us feel what others feel, were shaped for a tribe, not a planet. And yet, the world today pours through every crack and screen and pocket. Oceans of other people's catastrophes arrive in our hands before we have even had our morning coffee. The mind does not know how to distinguish pain on a glowing screen from a threat standing directly before us. It responds to all of it, fully, bodily, without reservation. The nervous system cannot sort by distance. So the fuse burns quietly, steadily, until one day it simply goes dark. We are not weak. We are not broken. we simply carry a permeability that was never designed for a world that screams this loudly and this ceaselessly without pause. Imagine a room. A dark room, warm in the way only nighttime rooms can be. An armchair that holds the shape of those who have rested in it. A lamp somewhere behind us, low and amber. And directly ahead, a large window. Outside, a heavy rain is falling. The kind that doesn't arrive in gusts but simply is, a continuous, patient downpour. That rain is everything. Every tragedy we were never meant to solve. Every voice calling out for something we cannot give. Every crisis and collapse and wound that arrived in our inbox, on our screen, in the trembling voice of someone we love but no longer have the reserves to hold. But there is glass between us and the rain. We watch the drops trace slow, wandering paths down the pane. We see the city lights outside, all those sharp and insistent neons, dissolving through the wet glass into something entirely different. They blur. They soften. The harsh edges melt into watercolor, trembling, overlapping pools of amber and blue and rose. There is something unbearably quiet about this. Something that does not demand anything of us. The glass knows about the storm. It is touched by the rain on one side, but it does not absorb it. The water simply moves downward, following gravity, going somewhere it was always going to go, without us. This is what it means to feel without drowning. To witness without becoming what we witness. The watercolor lights shift slowly in the dark, and something in the chest unclenches very slightly, like a hand that has been holding something tight for so long it forgot it was holding anything at all. There is guilt, of course. There is always guilt. The soft accusation that distance equals indifference. That the closed door means a closed heart. That somewhere, by choosing stillness, we have betrayed something essential about what it means to be human. But this guilt is not the truth. It is only the last shadow of an old story we were handed without being asked whether we wanted it. The rain continues outside. It is real. The pain it represents is real. And we are still here, still breathing, still capable of returning, when we are ready, to a version of ourselves that has not been completely consumed. This emptiness inside is not dead space. It is cleared space. The kind that appears after something long and heavy has finally been set down on the floor. The kind that makes room, quietly, for our own voice to return when it is ready, without having to compete with the roar of everything else. The watercolor lights soften further. One by one, they dim. And in this room, behind the glass, beneath the sound of steady rain, there is only the warmth of not being touched by the storm. The rain falls, and it no longer reaches us.